Have you always wanted custom manufactured plushies for your small business? Well, if you have come to the right place because today in this video, I am so excited to be answering all the questions I get about my custom manufactured plushies. I'm going to be giving you the step-by-step process of every single step you need to take in order to have your own made. And if there happens to be a step that I completely forgot about, please feel free to leave a comment down below and let me know, and I will answer it for you there. Before I get into the step-by-step process on how to manufacture them, I want to ask you if you know how you're going to market and sell your plushies. If you already have a system down, you already have an existing storefront, great, you don't have to worry about that. But just make sure that this next step makes sense for your business because it costs a lot of money to have these puppies made. I'm going to have every single step mapped out in different video chapters, so feel free to go to the link and just skip to the part that you want answered. So the first step that I'm going to talk about is designing your prototype. Now, I'm an author illustrator, so I was able to design my prototype very easily by myself. I personally have the graphic design experience and the graphic design software needed to do this, but you can always ask somebody else to do this for you, or the manufacturing company can provide that service for you. Personally, I use Procreate to design my prototype and send it into my manufacturers. You have to be sure to add the front, the back, the size that you want it to be, and the colors. Pick out the Pantone color. If you don't know what that means, there are tons of videos and informative websites that can tell you how to do that. This is what my prototype image looked like, and that's what I sent to my manufacturers. The next step is looking for a manufacturer. So there are quite a few different ways that you can go about looking for a manufacturer. I personally use Google to have my plushie manufactured. I kind of regret doing that though, because you can have it done probably way cheaper and still the same excellent quality on Alibaba.com. And if you're not familiar with Alibaba.com, this is an awesome site that allows you to get in contact with the manufacturers directly. Like there's no middleman, so that means there's no middleman charges. Another way you can find a manufacturing company is to get referrals. Like if you know somebody who has had a custom plushie made, ask them where they got it made. I know I have a lot of people asking me where I got mine made. I tell everybody the same thing. I tell them exactly where it came from because I don't believe in gatekeeping. So this is the company that I had my plushie manufactured from. They are based in California. They are like a middleman company. They have factories in China that will produce the plushies for them, but they do all of the necessary like paperwork corresponding with the manufacturer, so that way you don't have to do it. You just have to talk to them. And please, please, please get multiple quotes. You need to think about like how the price point's actually going to make sense for you in the long run, because if you're going to have these made, think about it as a long-term game, because if you're doing business, you got to make it make sense. This is an example of a quote that you can get from a manufacturer. This is the quote that I got. This was like a couple years ago from the company that I used. So as you can see, it starts at like their minimum order quantity, which a lot of factories, it's like 500 or 250. It obviously varies on different factories, but that is like the normal. That's a pretty standard range. Then you notice as you go down the chart, like you order more, like you order a higher quantity, you actually get a price break. So this can make sense for you, especially if you're already in business, you're already profitable. It just makes sense to actually get 1,000 versus 500. So once you've decided on which manufacturer you want to go through, they're going to ask you to put 50% down for a deposit. Looking at this chart, take 50% of that, and that is going to be your down payment. And most manufacturers operate this way. And just so you're prepared, this prototype cost me $500 to have made. And that's not even including how much you're going to be putting down to have all of your other plushies put into production. And like I said, every manufacturer is different, so it really just depends on who you go through, but this is from my experience. Once you've put down your deposit, they have the prototype image that they can refer to make your prototype. You're going to begin the process of waiting. Like you're gonna start waiting. It's probably gonna take a couple weeks to a month for them to make the first version of your plushie. With my company, I think I had unlimited revisions. So if they sent it to me or they sent me pictures and I didn't like it, I could ask them to revise it. For example, he is dirty because I give him to my son because he is like my first prototype that I ever got. Oh God, he's so dirty. But this is my first prototype. And I was happy with it, and like that's the logo that I gave them. But I was happy with it at first. But then I noticed that like I didn't like the side profile very much, or this just like leaned in too much. And I didn't like the quality of the fabric. So those were my preferences. And then this is the second prototype that I got, which is obviously much cleaner, but very different. You can tell from even the side profile that this just looks way sleeker, and I'm just much happier with it, and this is just a plushier material. So if your first prototype doesn't come out the way that you want it to, that is totally fine. They're gonna revise it for you. It's just gonna take a little bit more time. After you've approved of your prototype and you're ready to proceed with production and you have your 50% down, they will carry out the production. It will take about 3 to 4 months for production to be done. And most of the manufacturing companies that I know of for plushies are in China. So they are going to deliver it by ship. They're gonna ship it out overseas, and that's gonna take another month for it to get to you. So if you are going to have these made, just expect for it to take 5 to 6 months before you get them. And that's after the prototype has already been revised and approved. And I know I went through a lot of information in a short period of time, so I'm going to summarize what I went through with you. First step, design your prototype or have a picture of your character picked out. Look for a manufacturer from either Google, a referral, or Alibaba.com. I recommend any of those. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Get multiple quotes from multiple companies to see which price is best for you. Once you have your manufacturer picked out, you're gonna put down a deposit. That's more than likely gonna be at least 50% down. You're gonna go into production and you are just going to hold tight and wait. And that process takes about 3 to 4 months to have them manufactured and about an extra month for shipping. If you made it all the way to the end, I want to thank you so much, and I really hope that this was helpful for you and I answered all of the questions that you needed answered, and that this step-by-step process makes sense for you. And like I said in the beginning, if I forgot something or there's another question that you want to ask me, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And if you would like to connect with me on other platforms, I post religiously on my Instagram account, and I also post more educational short form content on TikTok as well. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.